This is Russia. Don't look so tough, Rock.
America, America. I'm gonna be playing for my dad and for my mom. But most of all, I'm gonna be playing for my country. We're not gonna lose.
If you would have walked into a Hollywood producer with this script, you'd have been thrown out on your ear.
America, 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 America.
And if you're betting, man, you better bet on us. Because we're just beginning, right? I mean, the Russians are going to beat you so bad.
Saw your game last night. You'll never beat Soviet Union. Never.
See about that.
In the background was the growing struggle between two great powers to shape the post-war world. Soviet Russia was expansively stabbing westward, knifing into nations left empty by war. On orders from the Kremlin, Russia had launched one of history's most drastic political, moral, and economic wars, a Cold War. The United States was obliged to help Europe safeguard its traditional freedoms and the independence of its nations.
Propaganda is vastly more important in democratic societies.
Both countries worked tirelessly for over 40 years to influence the perspectives of their people. Political propaganda was widely used to get their points across. But what was the most powerful form of propaganda during this time? It was sports. Sports was the surrogates between the proxy wars. But were both countries secretly working together for each to covertly gain more nationalism from their people? Was the KGB and CIA fighting each other, but at the same time strengthening their sides via spectacular sports success? The two real-life Cold War sports propaganda events will be the 1972 Olympic gold medal basketball game and the 1980 Winter Olympic bronze medal hockey game, both with the United States and Soviet Union respectively. But what transpired on these electric nights on the world stage? Let's start with the 1972 Olympics.
There is time for the Russians to go to their big man, Alexander Belov. They're going to try. Alexander Belov between two American defenders. Back there with him.
When you look back over the Olympic history of U.S. basketball, the biggest disappointment came in 1972. The greatest controversy perhaps in the history of all organized basketball. Never been a more controversial game than the gold medal contest in Munich in 1972. There, the Soviets dealt the Americans their first ever Olympic loss. The 51-50 Soviet victory on a last-second basket sent waves of disbelief and outrage across the United States. The loss stunned the United States team, which had never been beaten in 36 years of Olympic basketball. A streak of 63 games and 7 gold medals. The Americans immediately filed a protest, which wasn't resolved till the following day when a 5-man jury voted 3-2 to deny the appeal. All 3 negative votes coming from Eastern Bloc nations.
Silver medal, USA.
The American team unanimously refused to participate in the award ceremony or to accept their silver medals.
Both nations had powerhouse teams with long records of success. The United States team, then comprised of college players rather than professionals, had won gold at the previous 7 Olympic Games. The Soviet team was a regular Olympic silver medalist and European champion. The US and Soviet teams were drawn in different groups at Munich. Both progressed to the final with relative ease. The gold medal match received a great deal of media attention, given the strength of both teams and the political rivalries of their nations.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Moving on to the second Cold War matchup of this saga, it is interesting to think how each country beat the other in their respective best sport in the Olympics. America, basketball, the Soviets, hockey. This gave each of the nation's people something to cherish, a story of unimaginable success against your arch nemesis in their own sport. Stories that will transcend generations, like the old tales of soldiers in war. Movies have been made about these events to immortalize the moments. Russia released a film on their 1972 triumph with the movie called Going Vertical in 2017. The actual game-winning play is called The Golden Pass, according to the Russians. Disney even made a movie called Miracle in 2004 about the 1980 hockey showdown.
The name on the front is more important than the one on the back. Michael Ruzioni.
Who do you play for?
I play for the United States of America.
But to continue forward, we will stick to Cold War date-specific sports propaganda movies of Miracle on Ice in 1981 and Rocky IV in 1985. While Herb was trying to pick the best players for the Olympic team, he realized he was at a disadvantage when compared to the Soviet Union because there wasn't a big monetary incentive for American athletes at that time.
You see, the Russians make all their players army officers, while we in turn,
Yes. This is not quite my department.
Let's now go to Rocky IV, where the first scene of the movie is an American and a Russian boxing glove colliding and exploding to transition into the start of the film, already priming the watcher for what is about to come. National superpowers colliding in the sports arena during the Cold War.
Drago has come here with his trainers to America to compete as an international sportsman and ambassador of goodwill.
Apollo Creed fights Ivan Drago to make a point of American dominance and wanted to do it in an entertaining fashion. Drago's wife approaches Creed's wife to say,
Good luck. I hope after we can be friends. I hope so. Of course, they're sportsmen, not soldiers.
While the American and Russian Olympic teams never raised up weapons to fight the wars of their nations, if Apollo was any symbolism for it, lives were still lost in the bigger game of political propaganda to promote idealisms to separate people halfway around the globe.
He dies. He dies.
Of course, at the end of Rocky IV, Rocky beats the Russian boxing war machine, Drago, and leaves everyone off with inspiring words to wrap up the film in a feel-good way, the American movie magic way.
If I can change, я думаю, что каждый должен измениться. And you can change. Вы можете измениться. Everybody can change.
Are you now seeing the full game board?